What's up, buddy? How you feeling these days? I feel like I always open with this line, but I'm gonna use it anyway because it's a great line. How you feeling? Because I can tell you right now, you're feeling a little bit better than everybody over at Disney. And it's true. We keep saying it. And you know why we have to keep saying it? Because Disney is having one of the worst years of their life. The Disney Corporation. Now, we've seen so many projects fail. We're seeing the Disney Plus subscription numbers are down. The new Indiana Jones movie is supposed to be bad. The new Pixar movie is tracking badly. The Galactic Star Cruiser is closing. So many problems every day for this organization. I think they're making money on Disney World ticket sales, but at this point, the media, the movies, the TV, the streaming, it's all trash. It's all they're axing half the shows. We found out half the shows are going to disappear from Disney Plus because they can't even afford to keep shows on their own service. It's crazy. And in the midst of all this, when you think it can't get any worse, when you go, well, you know, the movies suck, but maybe they could turn it around. Well, you know, I'm sure with the next Marvel phase, that'll help them out. Just more bad news keeps happening. And now it's just they can't even hire people to be in the movies who aren't getting themselves into trouble. And I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to try not to laugh because it's serious allegations that are out there. Serious things are being alleged about two of the main villains of the Marvel Universe. We've talked about Jonathan Majors Kang. We know that he's been in trouble. But now we have, oh God, how do I pronounce the name? Tenoch Huerta. We're going to look at his name in a second. Being accused of similar bad behavior. What is happening? I know you guys are villains, but you're taking the role a little too seriously. Guys, we're going to get into it. Before we do, real quick, I want to give you a quick plug. Right now, I am running a crowdfunding campaign for my first ever graphic novel, Super Killer. If you've been on the channel before, you've probably heard me talking about it. But this is a labor of love. It's my own dark comedic superhero comic, and I think you guys are going to love it. We are almost at 800 backers. I'm sure we're going to hit that number. I want to hit 1,000 backers on this comic. I want 1,000 of you to trust me to tell you a great, hilarious superhero story. So check the link in the description or head on over to superkiller.org. Please check this out. I think you're going to love it. Watch this little video I put together. And I really hope you guys will help me make my comic book dreams come true by getting yourself a copy of this awesome comic. Anyway, let's get into the news. Now, just to quickly summarize some of what we already know is, again, this Jonathan Majors domestic, I don't even know what you want to call it, assault case, where he was apparently in a cab with a girlfriend. Somehow it got violent. She's gone on record saying, no, he hasn't done anything wrong. But then when you look at the story, frankly, the story is very disturbing. It sounds like, oh, well, you know, I tried to take his cell phone. You know what? I'm not even going to try to summarize it because I'm going to get the details wrong. I urge you guys to look up this story. But it does sound like some violence occurred. And the girlfriend is almost, my cat is going to throw up all over. Oh, my cat just threw up all over my desk. You better? You feel better? Don't eat this late. Go to bed. Point is, we have this story. The way the story comes out, even if the girlfriend says it's okay that he hit me, that doesn't make it right, and that's where the story gets a little complicated. And we don't know how it's going to shake out, because, again, there are other people coming out of the woodwork to accuse Jonathan Majors of it. It's all been very vague, though. We don't have a lot of hard accusations. Just, again, people saying this guy's a jerk, this guy's an abuser. We really don't know what's going on. What we do know what is going on is that Disney and other people associated with Jonathan Majors are trying to bury this story as much as possible. They do not want to talk about it. Now, you can argue the ethics of that up and down, but at the end of the day, these are movie studios that are trying to make a buck, and it's probably in their best financial interest to try to make this story go away. Now, if it comes out that, you know, all the allegations are true and this guy is really a terrible guy, you know, is it immoral? Is it ethical for them to continue working with him? Obviously not. But we do have to wait to, you know, make sure these allegations are real, are substantiated, what the true story is. Anyway, they are burying the lead. They're burying this guy right now. Creed 3 is coming out from Amazon Prime. And Majors, I'm not sure what role Majors is playing in this movie. He's one of the lead stars. Let's see. Majors Damian Anderson should serve as the primary villain in the film. Okay, so he's going to play a rival boxer, I assume. Again, though, all the marketing that's coming out, you're going to see a lot of Michael B. Jordan punch in the air. I don't know how you do a trailer without showing the guy he's supposed to be fighting in the boxing match, so that's a little weird. Not to mention we have Loki Season 2, which I'm actually excited for. I believe, maybe I'm crazy, that Loki is the key to fixing the Marvel Universe right now. I think they're focusing on a lot of characters that are frankly not interesting, that the fans are never going to truly embrace. You know, you can try and make Ironheart and Miss Marvel happen as much as you want. I don't understand how you have Loki, Tom Hiddleston, who is one of the greatest things, I think, to come out of the original MCU. If I was in charge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I would be putting this guy at the forefront of it. He should be the central hero, not Ant-Man, not Ant-Daughter, or whatever the hell's going on. Point is, even Ant-Man is tainted, because as we remember in Season 1, Kang was the primary villain. Now we have to somehow have Loki Season 2 trailers and not show Jonathan Majors whatsoever. As people are saying, Kevin Feige doesn't even mention he's in the show when talking about it. Here we see one quick cut of Jonathan Majors. I guess, again, he's like a Time Lord. He's jumping around in time. But, again, they're cutting him from all these trailers. You're not going to see much of him. So Marvel already has this Jonathan Majors situation going on. They're already trying to bury it. We don't even know if he's going to end up being the primary villain of the Marvel Universe as was planned. Who knows? He might morph into something else. Somebody suggested that the High Evolutionary from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 would be an excellent replacement for the main villain. I almost have to agree. That was a great performance from that actor, whose name I don't know because I'm bad at names. And here's another actor whose name I don't know. His name is Tenoch Huerta, who, again, played Namor. Can we get a picture of Namor? Well, here's the actor. And a bunch of ads because my ad blocker never works. No, just block. I don't want notifications from USA Today. Now, I saw Black Panther. I liked the movie. I want to say my opinion is maybe I need to see it a second time. I remember being very excited when I first saw it. Over time, I've been like, did I like it as much as I did? But I will say, one of the things I didn't exactly love was Namor. Now, this is crazy because a lot of people came out of the movie and they're like, oh, I loved Namor in Black Panther, and that was one of the best parts of the movie. Let's bring up a picture of him real quick if we can. A lot of people said that they thought Namor in Black Panther was their favorite part of the movie. I didn't get it. I was like, who's this? What is this? First of all, they made him Mayan, and his origin is all convoluted, and maybe he's a mutant. I don't even know what's going on. But I was not a big fan of this guy. But a lot of people were, and it seemed like it was possible that future MCU projects would involve him. Again, as some of you will know, Namor is a big Fantastic Four villain. There's been talks of a Fantastic Four movie in the works. Seemed natural that this guy might show back up to try and steal Sue Storm. Oh, that's a tongue twister. Steal Sue Storm from Mr. Fantastic. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen now, because we now have sexual assault allegations against Black Panther actor Tenoch Huerta. Now, here's why this is hard to parse, is that this is obviously a Hispanic man. I don't know if he's originally from Mexico or wherever else, but he's being accused of things by Padre Prieto, who, again, is a Hispanic woman. Again, I'm not sure if this is Mexican or some other part of the world, but, and I'm trying to parse this story out. This story is confusing to me. Okay. So what happened was that, there's just a lot of these names. I apologize to my Hispanic fans. You guys are going to be better at sorting out all these Hispanic names here. So Tenoch Huerta, the man who played Namor, appeared on a podcast from the name of the podcast. Okay, it's a non-profit group called Padre Prieto. They're a racial justice advocacy group. Apparently, they also have an associated podcast, and it is my understanding that Tenoch Huerta appeared on an episode of the podcast. Okay, so there's a social justice podcast. The guy who plays Namor goes on the podcast. Sure, we've sorted that out. The problem is that this, let's see, and I guess he is Mexican. Okay. Musician and activist Alina Rios, who also appeared on the same podcast, not the same episode, but I think an earlier episode, says she was not compensated for her podcast appearance and alleged that the group was protecting the actor. Now, her tweet from this woman, this musician, says that Potter Prieto, the group that puts on the podcast, is protecting the violent sexual predator Tenoch Huerta, and they're protecting him by not publishing anything from me. Okay, so maybe I have this wrong. Again, this is a convoluted story. I'm going to say this. I don't think Namor appeared on the podcast. I think what happened is this woman went on the podcast. She made allegations against Tenoch Huerta. She said Tenoch Huerta is a violent sexual predator, and that this group, apparently wanting to avoid controversy, decided not to air the episode and to not pay her. Well, no, because it says the group recently shared an episode of a podcast on social media which featured Rios. So what exactly is she... Wow, this is a convoluted story. Guys, I thought I knew what was going on, but apparently not. Here's the real meat of it. The 42-year-old actor revealed that he and Rios were in a consensual romantic relationship within the past year. And again, this woman is saying that he is a violent sexual predator. He claims it was a loving, warm, mutually supportive relationship. After it ended, Elena began to misrepresent her interactions privately and in front of groups of mutual friends. He has now gotten legal defense to rebut her allegations. Now, Rios, the girl who accused him of being a predator, explained her reasoning for not coming forward sooner. Why did I wait to talk about it, she says? Because I have a process. Why didn't I report it? Because I was afraid this would happen. People who refuse to believe that a superhero is an abuser, manipulator, and sexual predator. Well, he's kind of a super villain, not exactly a superhero. Although I am by no means perfect, she says, I know these allegations. Oh, no, Huerta says, though I'm no means perfect, I know these allegations are simply untrue. Again, this is all made very complicated by the fact that I have to translate these things from Spanish. So here's the woman's tweet that she issued. Hey, Mark of Potter Prieto Mix. This is the podcast that she appeared on. You do not have consent to disseminate a material without paying me, and that you exploited me to work for you for free. And you are also defending the violent predator Tenoch Huerta. So, I don't understand. Did the episode of the podcast air and she made these allegations? Or is it that... okay. I was about to say something that is a very terrible judgment to make, but I'm going to make a judgment. This sounds crazy to me. If you want to make allegations against someone, sexual allegations, the time to do it is... Well, let's be real. The time to do it is as soon as possible, not to wait with it. The problem is when you come out in response to something, okay? When something happens and you think that's the time to make allegations of sexual abuse. Now, it could be he's got a new movie coming up and you go, well, you know, I wasn't aware of it and I wanted to come forward now. That timing, you know, it's a little suspect. Why are you trying to hurt this movie? But again, I wouldn't even say it's suspect. You know, yes, you do want to let people know, and there's a lot of eyes on this person. That would be a situation that makes sense. This is, you didn't get paid to be on a podcast. And because you're angry with the podcast, you're now going to make allegations saying that your ex-boyfriend is a violent predator. So this sounds very petty for you, unfortunately. Now, I can't discount exactly, you know, what you've said. I don't know this or that. This is a he said, she said situation at this point in time with no physical evidence. But the fact that you came out and you said, you know what, I didn't get paid to be on this podcast, and I'm so upset about it that I'm going to accuse my ex-boyfriend of sexual misconduct, it's a very suspect thing to do. It does not look good for you when that is your motivation, your motivating factor. It looks like, because you're basically saying, if you guys had paid me, I wouldn't have said this. In which case, you don't care about victims. You don't care about, you know, trying to protect people from this guy. You're just upset that you weren't paid for appearing on a podcast. So, as I can say, guys, I'm sorry this story is so convoluted. I tried to find a news article that I thought would summarize it succinctly, but I obviously failed. But at the end of the day, we have to say this. These are very private matters that have been made public. We, the public, you're allowed to form an opinion. If you hear this woman's story and you go, yeah, you know what? I kind of feel like she's trustworthy. Maybe you know more about her. Maybe you trust her word. It's fair to go, you know what, I don't like this guy, and I don't want to see him in future movies. Okay, if that's your opinion, fine. My opinion would be there's nothing here yet. Allegations could come out of anywhere. They could be motivated for good reasons, genuinely, again, wanting to expose a predator. They can be done for bad reasons, being upset that you didn't get paid for your podcast appearance, or just trying to damage somebody. You're a jilted ex-lover. You want to damage their reputation. It's awful to talk about, but it is something that happens. People get very spiteful, very vindictive when they think they've been wronged in a relationship, and they think that it is okay to slander the name of the person they've been with. So, at the end of the day, I can't make a judgment one way or the other. It's one of those, maybe more stuff will come out, but if this is all they got, I can't hate this guy. But I will say, as the ultimate moral of the story, as we've been discussing, is that Disney does not want this headache. I can't feel bad for Disney as a billion-dollar corporation, but I can feel a little bad for the PR guys who are forced to scramble around and delete footage from trailers and try to fix this horrible PR mess. It's crazy that this keeps happening to Disney, that they keep having these waves of bad news, bad press, actors behaving badly. I mean, it's all over the industry. Obviously, DC is dealing with it in the form of Ezra Miller and other things like that. But Disney really needs a win in their book. And frankly, every day the losses just keep stacking up. And you kind of wonder, when is the bleeding going to stop? What is the future of the MCU? Is it Namor? Is it Kang? I don't know, but they got to figure it out. And this constant nonsense is definitely making it a lot harder to fix the MCU. Well, guys, as always, hit up the comments. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think Jonathan Majors is in trouble? Do you think Tenoch Huerta is a terrible guy? Or, as always, do we got to wait until more comes out? Do we even deserve to be settling this in the court of public opinion? Should these matters be kept private? I don't know. There's never easy answers to this. I think it's fine to air this out in public. If you really think somebody did something wrong, I think it's fine to talk about it. But I have to always question the motivations. I have to question, is this information reliable? And I'm going to wait to find out more. Guys, if you like these videos, if you like my sense of humor, if you really want to support me, and I deeply need your help. You know, it's one of these things, I don't want to beg for money. I really don't. And this is not me begging, because I want to sell you something. And I want to sell you entertainment. I want to sell you comedy. So at the end of the day, I want your help to help me make this comic book. If you're somebody who you love comics, if you love creativity, if you love great stories, I really hope you'll consider picking up a copy of Super Killer #1. Again, head on over to Indiegogo. Check the link in my description. You can find a link on superkiller.org. I want to get to 1,000 backers. I want 1,000 of you guys to read this story. It would warm my heart. It would make me feel like all of this is building towards something. You know, I love making YouTube videos for you guys. But I am a creative guy. I am a writer, and I really want to get my stories out there into the world. I hope you'll help that. Please, again, superkiller.org, Indiegogo. Check it out. Let's get to 1,000 backers. We got 19 days left. Thank you, everybody who supported me thus far, and I promise not to brutalize women. Unlike certain Marvel actors, that's the Vito Gesualdi pledge. That's something you can count on. Have fun, guys. Bye-bye.